Corbin Burnes proceeds to show everyone why he's a bad, bad man, and he's ready to tell Zach Gallen his time is up because Burnes' time is now. I'm doing a lot of John Cena puns on this episode, so if you don't like wrestling, it might not be the best for you, but the rest of you, lock it in. We're going live in 30 seconds. Welcome into another edition of the PHNX Dbacks podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of this joint. We got my guy, large, intimate Kevin Thomas on the ones and twos, and very thankful to see you guys here tonight. Great time to watch Diamondbacks baseball. They went out and beat up on the Cubs, a very, very good Cubs team, mind you. I know it's just spring training, but we'll try our best not to overreact, Kevin, to a lot of things on today's show, but I can't make any guarantees. I think I'm going to probably overreact about everything.
Yeah, and I know we have the mailbag coming up, and I don't want to spoil or step on anything.
I'm going to overreact there too.
We're definitely going to overreact to some things in the mailbox. There are some hot button topics to discuss today.
Yeah, these guys have been arguing all day long about entrees, and we'll get to that soon. But of course, we got to thank our friends at Waymo, of course, for sponsoring this podcast and also for always getting us home safely. Speaking of getting home safely, the Dbacks did exactly that against the Cubs today. Beat up on the Cubs by a score of 10-2. A lot of positive things to take away from today's game. Randall Grichuk hit an absolutely monster home run, and I think it just goes to show that he has those exact muscles that I was talking about so far this season. 452 feet, I believe it went. My goodness. He didn't need to. I don't think that ball has landed yet, but a few other guys had a good day. Jake McCarthy was 2 for 4. We had Gino go out there and do his thing, which is always great to see. Gino just continues to have a great spring so far in a limited sample size, but great spring nonetheless. He had 2 RBI today. He had a single and a sac fly later. I don't know if did he add any more to it? No, he did not. But of course, Gino, again, just a crucial part, like I said, about Corbin Carroll, who we'll get to here shortly with some unfortunate injury news, but nothing to worry ourselves too much about. Again, we are going to overreact about it because that's all we're doing today on this episode. But Gino's currently hitting 357 with a 1.117 OPS. So very, very good things for Gino. A lot of positive things to look at on the offensive side of the ball for this team. You know, you got, speaking of things going well, you got Geraldo Perdomo, who continues to be awesome after he got his contract extension. Perdomo was 2 for 3 today, currently hitting 357 with a 1.185 OPS. So Diamondbacks doing some good work. The Cubs have been a very good baseball team so far this spring. So I know that this is just a spring training game. And again, it's nothing to be overly excited about. However, it's a very positive sign that this team is able to hang with, a Cubs team that is out there trying to prove that they are one of the best teams in baseball, and they're trying to do that early on. Unnecessarily. You're going to burn yourself out. It's a 162-game season. You should know better than that. But Corbin Burnes, he's human. Who knew? He did give up a run today. One single run today, but still had himself a great day out there. Burnes goes 2 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, one earned run, walked 1, struck out 2. He still has a 1.69 ERA this spring. Nice. And it's still spring training. So again, we're not going to overreact to things, but Kevin, let's totally overreact. Corbin Burnes. He's my opening day starter.
He's on fire.
He's in my heart and in my mind. He is everything that we've ever wanted a ace to be, right? And this is no disrespect to Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen is just kind of a different pitcher, and Zach Gallen gets results. Zach Gallen is consistent, but Zach, I don't think he really impresses you the way that we've seen Corbin Burnes already impress this spring. And again, it's just what, 3 games, 3 outings, into his time as a Diamondback. But it's just very, very exciting to have this kind of weapon leading the way. I feel like Corbin Burnes is leading by example. We have a lot of positive other things that have happened. Eduardo Rodriguez got his first start. So, I mean, and he looked great. The starting pitching staff has looked excellent so far this spring. And, it is what it is. It's spring. How much stock can you put into any of this? Not much. We would sit here if the results were going and trending the other direction that we shouldn't panic, and it's nothing to worry about because it's just spring. But it's hard not to get a little excited when you're beating the Cubs 10-2 in a game, no matter if it's spring training, regular season, or any other time. It's right up there, I think, this season with beating the Dodgers, no matter when that occurs. So let's take a moment just to enjoy the win and enjoy the fact that the Diamondbacks just looked so good. They put up 4 runs in the 6th inning once, some of the starters were pulled out of the game, and the young guys did a great job today of tacking on. And honestly, just, keeping this team on track to do what they did. But Corbin Burnes, big part of the reason, set the tone early on. I think he was supposed to go 3 innings today, only managed to go 2 1/3. So if you want to have something to kind of discuss, there's that. But what do you got?
I was saying that you wanted me to overreact. I was saying, why didn't you go the full 3? What's going on here?
What's going on? Yeah. It's up downs, right? It's up down. So he went, it's more about going and sitting in the dugout. And it's a really weird part of baseball, right? Like, that's when you'll hear Torey Lovullo and other managers talk about the fact that it is about the rest in between innings and having to go back out there and pitch just as much as it is about, the pitching, just as much as it's about how many pitches you threw, what kind of work you put in, what the results were. All of that is good. However, you also want to be able to have your, starting pitcher be able to go sit down in the dugout, rest, and then come back out and still be able to perform. And they got him out there for at least 3 innings. He might not have gone a full 3 innings, but he went a full 3 up downs. That's what they call them. But Cubs entered today averaging 6.92 runs per game. So basically 7 runs per game so far in their 12 games entering this one against the Diamondbacks. So it is something, again, a little bit to be proud of, because this Cubs team has been very good so far this spring, and the Diamondbacks played them well in their last meeting, holding them just to 4 runs, and proceed to play them well again today. But speaking of things to not overreact to, Corbin Carroll is broken. Kinda. Just a little bit. Not really. He's slightly injured. He was removed from Sunday's game against the Texas Rangers with lower back tightness, according to Torey Lovullo, per our guy Steve Gilbert of MLB.com, who I have more to talk about with Steve. Steve, if you're watching this, I need a ride to Las Vegas this weekend, and you know it. You know I do, and you know why, and we'll get into it soon. But according to Steve Gilbert of MLB.com, Corbin Carroll said he would receive treatment Monday, would not swing the bat today. Tuesday is an off day for the team, so no game tomorrow. He will take swings on Wednesday, and then if all goes well, he'll play against the Seattle Mariners on Thursday night. According to Torey Lovullo, his level of concern is minimal, and then Torey went on to say very minimal. My level of concern is not very minimal, Kevin.
No.
My level of concern is as heightened as it could be. Yeah, I'm as worried as I possibly could be, because Corbin Carroll has been killing the baseball so far this spring. So, of course, there had to be some sort of setback. But at least does Torey's level of concern help you feel a little bit better about this?
Yes and no. Like, what is he really supposed to say there, though? Like, yes, I'm very worried, and then send everyone into a tailspin.
Yes.
So it kind of felt like
I want to panic, Kevin. I want to panic.
Like, him saying minimal felt like a real answer. But when he goes minimal, yeah, very minimal. I think he's trying to like kind of be like, hey, let's all calm down here. But yeah, no, I'm worried because we're less than 48 hours removed from starting the Corbin Carroll for MVP bandwagon.
Yeah.
And now the wheels are already out of air.
Yeah, the wheels are falling off.
You already got to fill up gas. What's happening here?
Yeah. Sean says Blake Walston and physics are our enemy. I have lots of enemies. I have lots of beefs in the streets. Lower back tightness is definitely on that list. I've had a beef with lower back tightness for the last 17 years. So, yeah, no, not great. But again, Not anything to be, I think, overly concerned about. Just this is the reason why the depth that we've been talking about is so important to the Diamondbacks, and why them having the depth they have is great for this team. And it's why we've heard Brandon Pfaadt already talk about staying healthy 3 or 4 times this spring, right? It's because staying healthy is difficult. This is a difficult game to stay healthy, and it's weird. It's a weird game. Like, think about how weird swinging a bat is and looks. Think about how weird throwing a pitch is and looks. The way you kick your leg, and it's stupid. This whole game sometimes is stupid and bad for your body, just like pro wrestling, which, again, obviously, this is a Springfield College jersey for John Cena, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. We'll get to him later.
And
but
you want to talk bad for your body? That match with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens,
yeah,
they're
that's
sore.
bad for your
They're
body.
sore for weeks.
Going through you can't fake going through a table or
2 tables,
or any of that stuff,
or
right?
the barbed wire that they didn't actually shave down.
We're really whittling this down until Brett is the only person that's enjoying the show. But nonetheless, there's a lot of things, of course, to be excited about with this team. But this is probably one of those things. We just had the news about Blaze Alexander yesterday, and now on Friday. Now we have this news about Corbin Carroll. So again, you want to make sure that these guys stay healthy. You want to make sure that they are ready for this rigorous 162 game season. But you also need someone like Corbin Carroll as much as possible. So hopefully it is a minimal concern, and it doesn't escalate in any way to something of maximum concern for this Diamondbacks team. But again, so great to see you guys. Ina Jackson says it's difficult staying healthy when you start the season for any sport. It's normal being sore and stiff. Not going to sweat it yet. You're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, of any of us that have attempted a workout regime and then stopped it and then tried to go back to it, or even did it for one day, knows how our bodies can scream at us for trying to do something that, again, it's a very unnatural motion. Sean says, I'm not a wrestling fan, but apparently John Cena did something special this past weekend. Laugh out loud. Oh, boy, did he. We're going to get to that and a lot more. I've teased it enough. We're going to talk pro wrestling on this episode. I might turn half of it. I found out the CHGO guys continue to do a pro wrestling podcast without me. Haven't invited me on there once. I am a wrestling commissioner, Kevin. I manage a wrestler. Quite successfully, I might add. And they don't invite me on their pro wrestling show? What is that about?
Not only does it feel like a direct sub right at you, but also like just you got to be better about that. You have a pro right here.
I'm sick.
You have a pro right here.
Successful.
Oh,
damn.
Get out of here. Boo.
Boo.
Look, Ocean Avery was cheated in that monster match. You know it. You know it. Not done with you yet, Anthony Idol. Anyway, back to actual baseball, which is what this program is about. Again, the Diamondbacks have they kind of had their A squad out there as far as their relievers. And Kev, I don't really think anything got decided when it comes to that. AJ Puck pitched today. He gave up 1 hit in 1 inning of work. You got Kevin Ginkel. He did not give up any hits or any runs. You got Joe Mantiply. He gave up 3 hits and 1 earned run. So if there's anybody that had himself kind of a weak outing today, it was Mantiply. Justin Martinez, again, 1 hit, 1 inning of work, 3 strikeouts for J Mart. Gotta love that. You gotta love that. 1 hit, 1 inning of work with 3 strikeouts. So a lot to be excited about for the guys that are essentially make up the pen. It just doesn't really feel like Torrey is moving that ball down the field, making any progress when it comes to that. It's a good thing he's a baseball manager and not a football coach, because he's not been doing much when it comes to this decision. I think maybe Joe Mantiply, who we've heard his name in the mix for the closer role, has been was a little bit of a surprise. Probably not the name that they were going to go with anyway. So it still remains pretty tough competition here between AJ Puck, who has a 0.00 ERA, Justin Martinez, who has a 0.00 ERA, and a few other guys. Kevin Ginkel gave up a few runs the other day, but still Kevin Ginkel's name's in the mix based on his past experience closing games for this team. So, but yeah, the Diamondbacks, again, roll today by a score of 10-2. A lot of positive things to take away from this one. And of course, the biggest thing right now that we're concerned with is, when is Corbin Carroll going to get back into a baseball game? Going back to Corbin Burnes, though, for a second, I do just want to say, like, it's something different about Burnes. And I don't want to start making any kind of crazy comparisons to maybe two amazing pitchers this team had at one time, but I feel like Burnes' style is going to complement what batters and teams are going to see after him. I think like when you talk about going from Corbin Burnes to Zach Gallen to Merrill Kelly, it's three very different looks as far as the pitchers you're facing and the stuff that you're facing. I think that the mix is going to be an incredible mix, but I just can't help but be excited, regardless of who starts on opening day, about this combo of Zach Gallen and Corbin Burnes. I don't know how you couldn't be. I almost feel like, once again, I have to temper my expectations. I have to keep myself in check a little bit, because I almost can't believe how good this starting pitching staff looks. Again, Eduardo Rodriguez made his debut, and he looked very strong as well. So I don't see a lot of holes in this lineup. Torey Lovullo provided a update about Jordan Montgomery, who faced live pitching. I believe he threw somewhere in the range of 26 pitches. Torey was very happy about the way Jordan Montgomery looked. And again, there's some X factors here, I guess you could say, or guys that we don't know how big of an impact they could potentially have. However, if they are as good as we know they could be, guys like Dre Jameson and Jordan Montgomery could be those kind of unexpected pieces that puts this team over the edge as far as being one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. And we have some questions about Dre and all of this stuff coming up today, because you know what day it is, and you know what we do on this day, and we always do it on this day, and that's why we do a show on this day. So we're going to do it on the other side of this break. Don't you guys go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Dbacks show. Well, again, give a shout out to Waymo. Waymo is always helping us get home on time. Waymo's autonomous ride-hailing service consists entirely of all-electric Jaguars. They're called I-Pace cars, but they go quite quickly on the freeway. They're not just pace cars, but providing a consistent zero-emission experience for their riders. Let me tell you, it's an absolute joy to ride in a Waymo. I think anybody that has had to a long day of traveling and wants to get home from the airport can attest to. It's great to have Waymo in our city. They have over 40 million miles of real-world driving experience. It's enough to drive to the moon and back. So go download the Waymo app today. Make sure you're ready and ride. Go ride one. Again, there's not a lot of talking going on Waymo. You also get to choose your music, so you don't have to deal with some of these other driving services and their drivers' music. But let me tell you, also a fun time, maybe you take a Waymo out to Spinatos, because Spinatos is the place for Suns fans for all Suns games. Spinatos is hosting official watch parties throughout the season, where you can watch the games with the Phoenix Suns dancers and the Gorilla. You can stop by for your chance to win free Suns tickets, gift certificates, and more exciting prizes. They have a little horse competition that, instead of spelling horse, you spell out pizza, and you can win free pizza for a year or tickets to the Suns on April 9th. And again, what's better than free tickets? Free pizza for a year. So go out there, feel the energy, cheer for your team, and win big. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Get all the info for watch parties and pizza basketball contest at SpanatosPizzeria.com. Spinatos, the official pizza of the Phoenix Suns. And of course, you can make sure to catch our PHNX Suns crew out there at Spinatos as well. We love their pizza, and I need some here in the office. Not that I'm asking Spinatos to send some over right now, but if they did, that would be really cool. All right. Well, we also have the PHNX Green Jacket Open Scramble. That is a 2 p.m. start on April 12th at Dobson Ranch Golf Course in Mesa. Your entry includes range balls prior to the round, 18 holes with a cart, games throughout the event, raffle and tournament prizes, PHNX tea gifts, and so much more, including food and after round party at Dobson Ranch. It is an amazing golf course. It's a fun time. Join us out there for that. You can sign up as an individual or a foursome today at gophnx.com/events to take part in the fun on April 12th at Dobson Ranch Golf Course.
And how stylish is that cactus? That's what I want to talk about.
That cactus is
styling and profiling.
He is entirely too sauced up. Like, that is for a cactus.
I mean, where are you going dressed like that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what I want to know.
Right? Yeah. Like, what business? Do you
what
have
event do you?
Looking like that?
Yeah. Trying to stunt on the saguaros.
Well, you know what we do on this day. We don't criticize the way that cacti dress on this show on Mondays, but we do this thing where, every year on this show is the year of the snake. Every month on this show is Black History Month. Every month on this show is also Women's History Month. And every month on this show of course, is Black Women's History Month. Every week is Shark Week. Every day is Earth Day. And every Monday, we go to the mailbag. Kev, let's do that.
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow.
Good stuff. All right, what do we got in the mailbag today?
First mailbag question coming to us from Travis Moore, one of two, who wants to know, what do you think the team's list of rules will be for the ABS system this season? Will they allow all pitchers and hitters to use it when they feel it's right? Will it only be Gabby and no pitchers making calls? Will there be a point in the game where they have to get to before Torrey?
Do you have the rest of that? I think there's more.
Yes. Part 2 gives the go ahead. Will a rule be that if it can't be used before the 6th inning? I'm actually excited for the strategy that needs to go into this going forward.
Well, and Travis, I'm also excited for this. The ABS right now is just being tested out in spring training, but it's not going to be long before it is implemented into baseball. I think the one thing that they're probably testing and making sure of is timing and how much, like right now, if you get the call right, you get another call. Well, how many calls, when are they going to limit it? How many calls can a team get? How much time is this going to take? How often? Who do they want calling it? Do they just want to assign it to the catchers? Right now, I think it's all kind of that's what this is for. It's all kind of up in limbo. They're getting a chance to see it in play and practice. They've had a chance though to see it for a few years now. So this isn't the first time they're testing it in live baseball games. I honestly, my thoughts on this in general is that I feel like if you leave it up to the pitcher is always going to want to challenge calls. Close calls, always. And it's because the pitcher is the one throwing the ball, and there is ego and other things attached to it besides just the fact that he thought the umpire might have gotten the call wrong. I would trust the catcher to be the one back there behind the plate actually making that call, assessing if he felt like it was a strike or a ball, and being the one to, I guess, initiate the ABS challenge. I think that makes the most sense. And we've seen it so far this spring initiated by pitchers and catchers. And it seems to just have a higher success rate when the catcher's doing it. So I would say as a strategy, they should probably leave it up to catchers. I know they're also doing the check swing system. I think that was in fall ball last year. I don't know if they're testing that so far in spring training, but I mean, I think, let's see here. Ina Jackson says the ABS system actually gets fewer and fewer because the ump gets better, and so do the players. It's a good call. I mean, you do have the fact that umpires don't want to make a bad call, but you also umpires and I'm sure the umpires association. I'm sure they don't want umpires second guessing themselves due to the ABS. However, there is the idea here that you as an umpire don't want to be incorrect, right? So maybe, just maybe, what this does is just like it makes an umpire stay engaged the whole game and not get to a point where maybe they're not as sharp during a couple of innings stretch or whatever the case may be, right? We know in fantasy football that putting a punishment for last place definitely makes everybody play until the final week of the season. Don't we know that now, Kevin, don't we?
Ha ha.
We're very aware of that now. People run through the bag essentially when it comes to fantasy football at the PHNX league. So, sometimes you got to dangle that out there and keep people motivated. But I don't know. I'm excited to see how this continues to evolve, and I can't wait to see it implemented in regular season games. I really do think that it is a great system. I think it's fun. And I think that there's going to be some electric moments when it eventually gets adopted to Major League Baseball and becomes a rule that are created by the ABS system. Huge calls. There's going to be huge calls where like a strikeout was called a ball and then they reverse it. And you're going to have a stadium lose their minds. You're going to have a dugout lose their minds over it. You could literally be talking about, it might not be late in the game, but it could just be huge moments in the game. And it's going to create some great excitement for baseball. I truly believe that. All right, what else we got, Kev?
Next question comes to us from Dbacks MT, who asks, MLB keeps saying that it is trying to, quote, appeal to a younger audience, end quote, while simultaneously making me listen to spring training games on the radio like it's 1945 for a fireside chat, I might add. Discuss.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that. I think that from what we've seen so far with television rights and this entire disaster with Bally's, I feel like things are trending in a better direction where Major League Baseball wants to have control over the television rights, wants to be able to provide games, not just, not just provide a subscription service where you can actually watch the team in your local market without it being blacked out, but also, a situation where like what we've heard about so far with the Diamondbacks, where they're going to provide a handful of games to just for free TV. We don't know how those are going to be delivered, what channel it's going to be on, or whatever. I do know some spring training games are being broadcast on Dbacks.tv. Maybe that's their attempt to reach that younger audience. I think that baseball just overall has a problem with this. Let's be honest. I mean, it's crazy that baseball is behind such a paywall in a way in every market all the time. I don't know. When you turn on certain channels, you're seeing NBA games regularly throughout the week. Obviously, our situation with the Suns is no, I don't want to say. I was going to say our situation with the Suns is great. It's not great right now. Things are very bad for the Suns. But television-wise, the free TV, being on Arizona's Family, that's a great deal that not every market has for their NBA teams. So I just think that the key for baseball is to try to stop worrying about television and streaming profits and try to grow the game more, do a better job of that. I know it's a product at the end of the day. It's content. And in today's market, speaking as people that create content, we can very much understand how they want to maximize their profitability on content. And that felt gross just saying. That felt disgusting for those words to come out of my mouth. But it's true. It's what Major League Baseball is trying to do. They're trying to figure out a way that they can maximize their profitability on their content when it comes to baseball games, while also still trying to grow the game. And sometimes those two things do not work out together. So I don't know. At this point, I do think that baseball does have a problem when it comes to growing the game with a younger audience. And I think a big problem of it is accessing the game of baseball, being able to watch it. So hopefully they continue to change that, but it doesn't feel like it's something that's a priority to them right now. I think that they just want to, maybe change the way things have worked for a very long time and get rid of some of these stupid, archaic blackout rules and some of these other things that prevent fans in the city of the team that they love from watching the team that they love. They need to do something about it, though. All right, what do we got? Next question, Kevin.
Next up, we got Tim, who wants to know, I didn't pay enough attention to Erod's start. Was there any reason his first spring training start was later than the rest of the rotation? People never seem to mention him in rotation questions. Are we sleeping on him with the potential for a big bounce back?
I love that, Tim. I think we are. I do think we are. I think people are sleeping on Erod because there's other topics, there's other discussions to have about the starting rotation. He has somehow just fallen into being one of 7 guys. Not a lot of people are talking about like Merrill Kelly and Brandon Pfaadt and such as much as they should be either. But this rotation has some excellent pitchers in it. And the big problem with Erod was he got signed to this team, and it took us a very long time to see him in regular season games. And when we finally did, he was not consistent. And that inconsistency is a byproduct of the injury that he had, the time off that he had, the weird season that he had, similar with Jordan Montgomery, right? I don't think that we can really judge either of these players, either of these athletes on last season, because last season was such an abnormal season for both of them. However, I mean, that's not the case now. They've had a normal offseason. They've had a normal spring training. You got Jordan Montgomery working his way back from this injury. You have Erod now pitching and starting and doing well, pitching well. Like I said, he went out there and pitched 2 innings, gave up 0 runs, 0 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. Not a bad day at the office for Erod. I think people are sleeping on him. And I think that perhaps that makes it a little bit easier for him to just go out there and do his job. From my perspective, from talking to him and viewing him, he's kind of a low-key dude. He's got a great voice, and he likes to just go out there and do work. Doesn't strike me as a very flashy pitcher, but he also, remember, when he's pitching like a ballerina, that's when he's at his best. So, I mean, again, we definitely could see ballerina Erod this season, and if that's the case, like I don't know where the ceiling is for this starting rotation. I really don't. And like it's fun because it doesn't feel like the other way. It doesn't feel like, I don't know what we're going to get out of this starting rotation. I feel like for all intents and purposes, my expectations are growing entirely too high with what I've seen out of these guys. That tracks, though, with the talent that we know we have. We have an awesome starting pitching staff, you guys. Like the problem is everybody's thinking of all these other factors and all these other things last season, which rightfully so. But I mean, when you really look at the talent, the careers that these guys have had, Zach Gallen, Corbin Burnes, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery, Merrill Kelly, like this is an outstanding starting rotation. And all it really takes is for Brian Kaplan to bring these guys together, keep them healthy, and have them do their thing one night after the next. And this team is going to be a very, very tough team to handle, at least in my opinion. We'll see what happens. What else we got?
Next up, Serpientes Magic wants to know, Corbin Burnes allowed 41 stolen bases last season compared to allowing 11 stolen bases in 2023. Which version can we expect from him this season? And if 2024 Burnes continues, how will it affect Moreno's caught stealing stat?
Well, that's an interesting factor because Corbin Burnes spent one season on the Baltimore Orioles, and that's the season that you're referring to. I think part of it, and again, this is just speculation on my part, but part of it is the fact that when, typically when you are with a new team, there is some growing together that needs to occur, right? You guys need to learn each other as a teammate, and I don't think there's any relationship that's more special, more, that requires a bond of sorts more than pitcher and catcher, right? Adley Rutschman is a great talent, a phenomenal talent, phenomenal catcher, not very good when it comes to caught stealing percentage. He was 37th amongst MLB catchers last year. He had an 18% caught stealing rate. Gabby Moreno had a 24% caught stealing rate, which was 15th among MLB catchers. So I do think that we're going to see those numbers improve with Gabby behind the plate, but I don't really know if it's a reflection necessarily of Corbin Burnes. Maybe it is. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe some word got out about some things that you could see in his mechanics that would allow you to get a decent jump on him. Maybe the changes that occurred prior to the 2023 season, maybe they took a little while to catch up, but maybe those changes, impact him as well. I do think that it's the catcher behind the plate that has the biggest impact on this situation, though. So just want to make sure that we, keep that in mind when it comes to, his numbers from last year. Also, it's just weird doing just 1 year of this, right? When it comes to everything that's gone on with Corbin Burnes' career, he had some consistency there for the majority of his time. And, up in Milwaukee, having a new catcher can impact those numbers as well. He also had a very good catcher in Milwaukee. So let's not forget that. I think we're going to get on to some more Mailbag Monday questions on the other side of this break. These are always amazing questions. But of course, we love you guys. We appreciate you for sending those in. And we will get to some more on the other side of this break. Don't you guys go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback show. Well, I love myself some Pure Edibles, and Pure Edibles was founded in Arizona and is available in 130 dispensaries statewide. Right here in Flagstaff, Arizona at Noble Herb Dispensary, the home of Pure Edibles. They are now made in Phoenix, Arizona, and they are a gummy that aren't covered in sugar like all their other competition, but they're a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, Kicks, which is their version of Starburst, and Chews, as well as hard candies. So Pure Effects are clearly listed on each tin so you know exactly what to expect, whether it's mood altering, whether it can help you with your sleep. No matter what, you'll know what you're getting with Pure. They are designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easily shareable or easy to dial in your exact dose. So go find yourself some Pure Edibles. Their products are available in one of over 130 dispensaries right here in Arizona. Well, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary Bet365. We thank Bet365 for always making sports more fun. Right now, you can get in on some of those future bets on MLB. You can also get down on the live betting for all sorts of sports. They offer the widest range of live games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. And of course, whatever the moment, like I said, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Baseball, basketball, football, it doesn't matter. It's go bet on it. Got early payout offers on basketball. Those early payout offers can help you win, even if your team doesn't win. And we all know the Suns aren't doing a lot of winning right now. But if they do go up by 20 points or more, you are a winner with an early payout offer. And that counts towards parlay and same game parlay selections as well. New customers right now can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose, over at Bet365. Sign up and use our code of PHNX365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 or more to receive $150 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Again, must be 21 and over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. All right, we got some more questions in the mailbag. Kevin, what do we got?
Next up, Goldie Snakes wants to know, how much would you personally contribute to the Vladdy
Oh
Fund?
my God.
I'd Venmo Ken $100 and name my first-born son Vladimir.
Can you imagine the conversations you would have to have with friends explaining why your firstborn son's name is Vladimir?
Your friends, your partner.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Tom?
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking Vladimir.
Vlad. We can call him Vladdy for short. I have $18 in cash on me right now, and I can run to an ATM really quickly. And I don't even need to go to my own bank's ATM. I will happily accept, a remote ATM fee to get some money over to Ken and company to get themselves Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I gotta say, it's got to be an awkward situation. Like we have those, right? We know there's some unspoken situations on this team that I speak about entirely too much. Guys that are free agents who we know most likely are not going to still be here at the end of the year, no matter what. We hope that they will be, right? We want them to be, but it feels very much like that's not going to be the case, right? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. all but confirmed that he's leaving, Toronto. So it's got to be, pretty, it's going to be a pretty weird season for them. But I don't care. I'm all for snatching him up and bringing him over to the Arizona Diamondbacks and making him our new first baseman. We do have the fact that Josh Naylor's contract is only through the end of the season. So the Diamondbacks very well could go out there and add, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And that could be the guy that could be huge for this team. That could be huge for this team. However, I also like the fact that this team is able to go out and find guys like Naylor instead of necessarily going out and getting the biggest, flashiest free agent. I know the best replacement for Christian Walker was still Christian Walker, but I like Josh Naylor so far. I'm really digging him, and I, honestly, no disrespect to Vladdy, but I wouldn't mind just keeping Josh Naylor as well. That might be something interesting to see how that develops. But yeah, no, I mean, Vladimir Montilla, it's kind of fire, right?
Vladimir Thomas doesn't really have the same je ne sais quoi,
No.
if you know what I mean. There are some names where it
No,
just
but
doesn't
it'd be
really
like
work.
Vlad Tom. We could have a cool nickname like that or something. That would
Vlad
sound like
Tom.
a Viking. I don't know. All right, what else we got? What other questions we got?
Next up, coming to us from Alan Leva, who wants to know thoughts on Dre Jameson being a high leverage arm this season. Does he have any shot at closing games while J-Mart develops some more?
I love this question, and I absolutely think he does, right? It's hard not to think about Dre Jameson being a guy that, and not to say people are discounting, but of course the conversation we've talked about the usual suspects. It really doesn't feel like Dre Jameson's name is brought up enough for that closer role. I'm a big fan of him for that closer role. I think he is a guy that has not only the stuff, we've seen it this spring so far, but he has the right attitude. And I keep saying that. He has fire in his blood. Do you have fire in your blood? I don't have fire in my blood. Kevin doesn't have fire in his blood. Maybe Johnny Venerable. That's probably the only guy in this. It's more of electricity in his blood. But nonetheless, I don't know of anybody in this office that truly has fire in their blood. Both Emmas have, the one Emma, our social, and then you remember the other Emma. They have fire in their blood, but I don't think anybody else does. Dre Jameson, I think, there's been talk about him, hitting 100 miles per hour and his stuff looking incredible. He probably wants it more than anybody else, considering the layoff he's had and considering he wants to go out there and prove himself and wants to earn a spot like that. But again, he just has that kind of fiery. No, that was cliche to say. I said fiery. I was going to say fiery attitude. He has that je ne sais quoi. Ina Jackson says Dre isn't ready. I don't know. I mean, that could be the same reason, again, why Justin Martinez isn't in that role, despite how good his stuff is. They might not think that, I guess, career-wise, doesn't have enough experience for that. Maybe, again, it might come down to, attitude and the ability to be in that spot, because that's probably the biggest thing about being a closer. Yes, it's at the end of the game, but you could blow the game as a reliever in the 7th inning or the 6th inning or the 8th inning. It's not like just closing out the games in 9th inning is different. It's only different because of the pressure that's put on that particular person. And it's not a matter of stuff. It's a matter of mental strength, testicular fortitude, if you will. And that's, I think, something that Dre Jameson has in spades. All right, what else we got?
Next up, Derek, question coming to us from Tyson Jorgensen, who tags a bunch of people and asks, maybe asking a question no one knows the answer to, but I'm from Las Vegas area and I'm going to the two split squad Dbacks games here this Saturday and Sunday in town. What chance do any major league starters what chance is there that any major league starters make the trip up here?
So I think that Tyson, I appreciate your question. I didn't really think that the Diamondbacks wouldn't be sending major leaguers to Las Vegas, and I still don't think that's the case. I don't know what the teams are going to look like, what the lineups are going to look like, but it's not like, I don't think it's one of those things where they're going to leave all of their, top tier talent at home and kind of take the B squad with them to Las Vegas, especially playing back-to-back games. There's a good chance that both lineups will be different in those two games. More importantly, though, I will be at those two games, and I am making the trip to Las Vegas this weekend to watch the Diamondbacks play the A's over there at the Aviators ballpark. And I am going with two people. I am driving in a car with my friend Jack Summers and what do I want to call him? My colleague, Barry Bloom. For those of you that know Barry Bloom, or might have heard of Barry Bloom, I don't know how to describe him other than saying he's Stadler or Waldorf from the Muppets. The two guys that sit up in the, they sit up in the balcony and they criticize the Muppet Show the whole time. I'm pretty sure he's Stadler, but he could be Waldorf. I don't know. Regardless, that's that Muppet, Barry Bloom, is who I'm going to be sitting in a car with for 4 to 5 hours, listening to him probably say all the curse words. Like, maybe I might even learn some new curse words that I've never even heard before. I'm excited for it. I do have a question though. Does anybody have trunk space? Maybe you're driving in a pickup truck and there's some extra room in the back for me to ride in there for 5 hours. Steve Gilbert, if you're going, maybe you could stop laughing at me and instead come pick me up and give me a ride. I love these two gentlemen very much. However, I don't know what going on a road trip with two baseball scholars is going to be like, to be honest, especially a road trip to Las Vegas. Now, I'm very good on road trips, but the plan is to pick me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel like I'm going to have the mental capacity to deal with whatever I'm going to deal with on this car ride. So I might just blog it the whole time, Kevin. I think that might be the only way for me to get through it.
I mean, I think you got to make content out of it somehow, right?
Yes.
Got to laugh to keep from crying or whatever.
I'm gonna have to figure it out. Now, in all honesty, I love being around baseball writers and people like Barry Bloom and Jack Summers. They are incredible people who I've learned a tremendous amount from. They're also hilarious. So I'm looking forward to the stories. But I do mean it. If you do have room in your car, come pick me up, please. What else we got, Kevin?
Next up, Groundhog Mama wants to know, will there be any takeovers and or watch parties this season with PHNX?
There will be. There probably won't be as many as we've had in the past, but I do know we are planning something very fun for a takeover, and I do know that it is going to once again involve the pool. So defend the pool. Get those Defend the Pool shirts. Get those ready. Get your pool towels ready because we're going to be doing that. I hope to be doing watch parties with you guys as well because, again, not to get all mushy on you, but you guys make this show what it is. This community makes PHNX what it is. So Our watch parties, I know that when we've done them in person, have always been a blast. I don't think anybody wants to see me do a watch along for sure. So we're going to have to, no one wants to sit 3 hours watching me react to a baseball game. However, we do have some fun stuff planned here. So we'll be letting you guys know once we get that. And hey, you know what? Even if we don't have any official PHNX watch parties, we can definitely plan something as a community. So Edward says, let's do a road trip. Yes, let's do it this weekend, Edward. Let's go to Las Vegas. Come pick me up. I got a hotel room already. We'll figure those things out. Well, we just got a few more Mailbag Monday questions to go, but we might have saved the best for last. So, of course, don't you guys go anywhere. We're going to do some commercials. We'll be right back. This is the PHNX Dbacks show. Well, of course, All Pro Shade Concepts has been a big part of what we're doing around here at PHNX. And they're, again, I have to give them credit because their commercials are better than anything I can do. More hilarious than me, funnier than me, and it gets the point across that their shades are amazing. They have all sorts of awnings, roll down awnings, motorized awnings, things to protect you from the sun. Mostly I need some shades on the outdoor or outside of my windows, and that's something that they do. Motorized shades that go up and down. Pretty baller in my opinion, and you can check out all the wonderful things they have to offer. You can choose for manual or motorized, sealed track or cable shades. In the winter, they have drop down shades that can create an outdoor living area that keeps cold wind out and warm air in, and vice versa. Obviously, during the summer, they can protect you from the sun. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. You can call them right now at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadesconcept.com right now to schedule your free estimate. We thank them so much for sponsoring this show. And we got to get ourselves a new awning. I need a new awning. I need some more shaded space in my backyard because I love to be out there. Right now is a great time to be outside. And of course, it's because the weather's beautiful, but it's not going to be for long. And when you need it, Circle K is there for you because Circle K is America's thirst stop and even sometimes maybe America's thirst trap. I don't know. I want to go there because you go there for something else, right? You're going there for gas. You're going there for snacks maybe, but then you realize you see the Polar Pops, you see the Frosters, you see the wonderful drink selection, and you see all the wonderful prices that Circle K has. Well, you could even get more deals than what they have posted on their windows because if you join the Inner Circle for free, you can get wonderful discounts. Buy 5, get a 6th one free on a selection of products. So much more. You'll save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You'll save 3 cents per gallon every day after that, and your first 5 Polar Pops are free. So join the Inner Circle for free right now by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. All right, well, we just got a few questions left in the mailbag before we get out of here. Kevin, what do we got?
Yeah, so our next question comes to us from Hanley, who wants to know, where were you when Cena turned heel? So many emotions.
Okay, I was supposed to be at Extra Innings Fest, and I was there on Friday night, had a delightful time, had a wonderful time at Innings Fest, and I was going to be there on Saturday night, and it turns out that my wife, who has hung in there with me as much as she could, finally tapped out on the concerts and the shows. And said, I've had enough. I can't make it tonight. I need to just go to sleep at 8 p.m. And I think we can all relate to that. So I decided, hey, you know what? I'll try to see if anybody else wants to go. Couldn't link up with the boys from the office. So I decided, hey, there's a PLE tonight for WWE. I'm going to stay home and catch it. Not to say I would have loved to see Damon Dog throwing heat in the cage out at Extra Innings Fest, but staying home and getting a chance.
Heat's a strong word.
Yeah, throwing heat.
Yeah, you would have missed Damon throwing in the pitch. Yeah, Noah, our guy Noah was throwing some heat. Though. Yeah, and if you got Damon in the batting cages, he was hitting the first two hacks were pretty good.
Ripped
so,
them.
Yeah, position player, not pitcher. Damon Dog for sure.
That sounds about right. I think he's a catcher. I think he was a catcher if I'm not mistaken. But for those of you that don't understand this or don't care, I'm not going to try to make you. But what I will say is that John Cena is to the wrestling world what Superman is to comic books, I guess. Right? He's the Boy Scout. He's been compared to Superman a lot.
Well said.
John Cena in his time as a pro wrestler, every pro wrestler becomes a good guy and then becomes a bad guy and then goes back to being a good guy. John Cena did it, honestly, without ever really becoming a bad guy. He just was himself. And we decided at times we did like him. And then we decided at other times we had enough and we were done with him and we didn't like him. And he just remained the same. He was just he was the mainstay, if you will, of the WWE world. And we finally got to see, after years and years and years, besides this brief stint when he was a rapper and he was a very good bad guy, we finally got to see John Cena turn heel thanks to The Rock, who now owns John Cena's soul. I will say that this was one of the most shocking events I've ever seen, and I was thoroughly entertained by it. One thing that's funny about this is you can tell how something like this, like pro wrestling always exists, right? For those of you that don't watch it or don't care about it, it's just always going on. You don't hardly ever hear anything about it, aside from when some celebrity gets involved or Vince McMahon gets wrapped up in some sort of scandal, right? But what's interesting about this is that this John Cena heel turn was so big that it's like the first thing in almost 30 years that has kind of become crazy in the pop culture zeitgeist, right? Like it's like blown up in a way where you have ESPN covering it and you have the local news covering it. You have all sorts of weird things happening when it comes to this storyline on a television show, essentially. But I think at the end of the day, it's because John Cena is very well known, obviously. He's an actor, very good as Peacemaker, great dancer, just the guy that we've always known to be the good guy, unless you watched some of his arguments with Nikki Bella on Total Divas. Then you might have thought of him as a very, very bad guy. But nonetheless, it was just a wild thing to finally have happen. I love the fact that The Rock is the reason why he turned, because honestly, just like Rikishi, I would also do it for The Rock. I would do anything for The Rock. So I would totally turn on my own family for The Rock. But also John Cena going into like full like super soldier, or like what he was like a
he was like a sleeper
soldier,
agent,
right?
yeah,
Like it's like it was like the secret throat slashing mechanism is what activated his brain to become a stone cold killer. But I love it. It's fun storytelling. It's what it's all about. It's about entertainment. I implore people that watch sports to just try to find it more entertaining at times. And even some of the discussions I've been having with my friends and other pro wrestling people about this has turned entirely too seriously. I love it. It's fun. And I can't wait to see where it goes next. They've done a great job at being creative and building towards WrestleMania. And that's what it's all about. WrestleMania is a Super Bowl. All right. That's all we got for pro wrestling talk. I'll move on. Thank you for those of you that stuck with me through that. What else we got?
Is it though, Derek?
Is it? We got more?
Because we do have one. If it is guaranteed the D-backs win the World Series in 2025, would you give The Rock your soul?
Yes. First of all, I think $7 Productions would do great things with my soul. Probably far more than I would ever do with my soul. Also, I would give The Rock my soul for a ham sandwich. I would give The Rock my soul for lunch out at a mediocre restaurant. I mean, like, let's be honest. Yes, I would sell it for 2025 World Series, but I would sell it for way less than that. Don't tell him that. We'll try to negotiate, and I don't want to lowball him, but for sure, I'd sell my soul to The Rock. I mean, have you seen like aside from a couple? He brought back the XFL, so maybe he could do good things with my soul. What else we got, Kevin?
All right, Derek, this is the main event.
This is the main event. All of this was just a warm up for this question. That's all. This is it. This is what we came here for.
Please create a lineup, batting order, and field position out of your favorite entrees.
Oh my God.
Now let me tell you, Derek.
You guys were arguing about this for so long.
We weren't even arguing.
Today.
I was building my list out, and I was kind of telling people about it, and it was a hot button topic.
Yeah, because your list was trash, and you didn't know what an entree was.
Well, I didn't read the full question.
Salsa, Kevin. You started your list with chips and salsa.
Look, Derek. All right. When I read the question, and then later I went back to do my list, I was thinking that they meant, let's just put together a list of food. How would you do your food lineup? And then Derek very kindly directed me to the word in the question called entrees. And so I readjusted my list, and I actually think my list will probably kill your list.
I don't know. I feel like you saw a lot of my list, and I think your list was slightly influenced by my list.
No,
but imitation's the highest form of flattery, so that's fine.
First of all, my list was not influenced by your list.
Okay,
it was actually influenced by the communal arguing we had here at the office.
Yes.
And I think so I did not take your ideas. I did not take your ideas there. I promise.
Leading off and playing in center field is a Cobb dinner salad. Right? Light, fast, quick. One of my favorite salads. Now, here's the thing. Remember, she asked my lineup. This is not universally loved food. So I'm going to start off with that. She asked me to create an entree lineup for me, and that's what I'm doing. And that's why in the 2-hole is chicken tendies. Reliable. Always gonna be there. Always gonna get on base, right? May not be flashy at times. May not be something that you as an adult want to order at dinner with other adults. But you know what happens when you do? Those other adults are going to get jealous and they're going to be like, I should have got chicken tendies too. So chicken tendies is in the 2-hole, and chicken tendies is going to be playing shortstop. Do you want to bounce back and forth, or should I just give my 9? I'll give my 9 real fast.
Yeah, it's up to you. I
we
think
got
that'd be
Cobb
easier 'cause
salad
we don't
leading
have
off.
the-
We got chicken tendies in the 2-hole. We got smoked brisket batting third. And then we have from Mastro Steakhouse, a Brunson 35-day dry-aged Kansas City strip steak. It's the greatest steak I've ever had in my whole entire life, and no steak will ever be better than it. So why wouldn't I have him hitting in the 4-hole and playing first base? It's a crazy question. Why would you even ask that? 5th, we got braised short ribs. Braised short ribs, undervalued entree. Every time I have braised short ribs, I am never disappointed that I ordered it, but it's not flashy. You're not even gonna, like, sometimes you're not gonna consider braised short rib next to some of the other items at a fancy menu. 6-hole Chilean sea bass. Maybe a little overrated, right? Maybe doesn't hit like you would think it would.
Overpaid a little bit too.
A little overpaid.
Contract a little pricey.
Yeah. Playing like, left field now, right?
Yeah.
Chilean sea bass, he was a center fielder in his day, 7th, lobster rolls. Now, here is what I'm going to say about lobster rolls. They always cost $20, and when you finish one, you are always left wanting more and feeling like you paid too much for it. Am I right? I mean, lobster rolls are good. With the butter, doesn't matter if it's a cold one or a warm one. They're always good. There's never enough lobster roll, and it's always too expensive. 8-hole tacos. Reliable. Always there. Always good. Variation of tacos. You're never going to have a taco that you're like, this is the best taco I've ever had. But tacos nonetheless. And I'm structuring this the same way Tori Lovullo would. So in the 9th hole is the heart and soul of my entrees. And that's a turkey club sandwich.
Wow.
Because if I had one food I would eat every single day for the rest of my life until the day I died, it would be a turkey club sandwich. Honorable mention to a double cheeseburger with grilled onions. Both of those are on the same level. I couldn't really differentiate between one or the other. I do love the turkey club a little bit more, though. Maybe sometimes I'm going to sub in the grilled onion cheeseburger, but that's my lineup right there. What do we got for you, Kevin?
Well, Derek, I kind of want to start this off real quick by saying I have a slight bone to pick with your leadoff person. Cobb salad.
Yeah.
Only because I wanted nachos to be my leadoff person. And everyone here at the office said, well, that's not an entree. And I said, well, you can get it as an entree just about everywhere, but it's always listed in the apps. And so I felt like salad off the top.
Nachos are different than when you had chips and salsa on there. So I will give you that. And you are absolutely right. Nachos are one of the appetite. Like, I'm not thinking a platter of like fried pickles is going to suffice. But if I get the combo platter from the appetizer where it's like, potato skins, boneless wings, and fried pickles, now we're talking. A grown man could eat an appetizer sampler plate and be full on that and have that be his entree. However, though, again, this is Chris Melton wanted to know who the catcher was. It's definitely lobster rolls. I mean, have you ever, like, the lobster roll itself is kind of shaped like a mitt coming in. That it's a whole thing in my imagination. But yeah, no, I mean, nachos isn't a bad pick, but I could see how that would still qualify. See, Sean's asking how big is the salad?
Because I agree with you. Because
it's a dinner salad.
There's
a dinner salad.
I agree with you. I think it belongs in the lineup. But I was just saying that, nachos being excluded, I had to move them down to the pinch hitter DH spot
Yeah.
in my lineup
Yeah.
because people were mad. They were like, "That's an appetizer." I'm trying to say it's an entree.
That's double cheeseburger for me. Double cheeseburger is too important to be left off the squad.
That's the pinch
I
hit
can't
spot.
not leave them in there. But like, I feel like once I start having 2, 3, 4 sandwiches on there, now I'm a baby mouth, right? Now I'm constructing my lineup the same way an 8-year-old would. I can't do that. I got to have some class, some finesse there. I have to have a 35-day dry aged Kansas City strip steak in there. You know what I mean? And a Chilean sea bass. Got to class things up.
I didn't go nearly as specific as you did, so maybe my list might be a little too generic.
I'm still here with it.
I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off.
Who is leading off for you?
Leading off, sushi. Sushi leading off. You're gonna get on base with sushi.
You're getting on base with sushi. It's light. It's quick. It doesn't take long. You can grab it in the store, and it's already done. Right? There's no heating it up. There's no preparation. There's not even a minute in the microwave. It's just straight off of.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Good for you. Healthy. Yeah. Light.
In the 2 spot, you got cheeseburger. Cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Can't really go wrong with cheeseburger.
Reliable?
They got to put them in the 2 spot there. 3, we're going pepperoni pizza specifically. Pepperoni pizza. No, you don't like that one. You don't like that one.
I don't value pepperoni. I don't value pizza very highly, even though I eat it as much as I do.
Wow.
Let's be honest.
I think if we're doing the starting, like you said, it is
it's
subjective.
To each their
it's
own.
subjective.
It's subjective. Yeah.
And my apologies to Chris. I was so locked in on getting my entrees in the order that I think I would actually order them that I didn't even think. I was just in talent acquisition mode. I didn't care about what position they played. I'm just gonna get everyone in the locker room and figure it out later.
Yeah,
you'll
switch guys around. Maybe pizza plays a little bit of outfield. Maybe you kind of spend some time at third base.
Batting cleanup.
Yeah.
Brisket.
See, I had brisket in the 3 hole, so eye to eye there.
Yeah.
Right. Brisket's a quality, meaty, batter.
High ceiling as well. Very high ceiling on that.
Huge ceiling. High ceiling.
My reasoning putting in the 4 spot is because that's either a home run or a strikeout, I feel like.
Yeah.
Your brisket's either amazing, juicy, best you ever had, or it's dry. And you wish you got something else. Yeah.
Well, for those of you guys watching this, make sure you go over to gophnx.com and catch the rest of this. I'm sure we're already over here. I don't think Faj is even watching us anymore. Again, Jacob has no power over me. I have no one here to control me. I can do what I want. But again, if you're watching over there, make sure to join us over here at gophnx.com. Sorry to cut you off. Where are we at now? We're in the 4 hole?
Yeah, we are actually in the 5 spot. 4 hole was brisket. So far we have sushi, cheeseburger, pepperoni, brisket, batting fifth, ribeye.
Okay.
A nice ribeye steak in the 5 spot, followed by Hawaiian barbecue plate in the 6 spot.
I don't think you can have just a Hawaiian barbecue plate.
That's the entree. At every Hawaiian spot is the plate.
But what is in the plate? What does it consist of? Kahlua pork? Are we talking about?
I did get specific, and I was
katsu chicken.
I mean, specifically, what I had in here initially was teriyaki chicken Hawaiian plate.
Okay,
that was initially what I had in there.
All
right. Batting 7th is chicken tendies. You got to have chicken tendies in the entree lineup.
Way too low in your lineup.
No, because this bottom 3, Derek, is getting us back up to the leadoff sushi every time.
Right.
We're going chicken tendies, stir fry, street tacos in the bottom 3.
Okay.
That's getting you back up to sushi damn near every time.
All right. I don't know about the stir fry.
No stir fry?
Well, I like stir fry, but I'm not. I mean, of all the entrees that you could have on your lineup.
It was ramen or it was stir fry in that spot.
Okay.
And I think I went stir fry just because I can have more stir fry and more nights than I can ramen. I'm not always feeling a soupy kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. That's my starting 9 right there.
All right. So my biggest concern there is, what did ribeye do to end up in the 5 hole?
Damn.
That's my big concern there. But I put brisket in 3. So then if you're brisket in 3, then I brisket in 3. We both have a steak in 4. It's hard to get away from this combination.
It is.
We know our meat around here, right? So
I almost wanted to put ribeye ahead of brisket, right? But then you have barbecue and barbecue. Then I got brisket going right into teriyaki chicken barbecue. Now I feel like I'm going lefty-lefty. You know what I mean? I got to have some variation there.
Yeah. Edward likes the street tacos at 9. He says that's a solid lineup turn. Yep, for sure.
Right? Always there when you need it. You can find it literally anywhere. Reliable.
And tacos are so versatile. You can literally
shrimp, chicken, whitefish, beef.
I mean, it's such
pork.
a big category of things. It's like you saying Hawaiian mixed plate. Like there's you're just describing
Do
a
I need
combo
to give a protein
idea
for the street? I can give
and
a
not
protein.
giving an actual entree.
I can give a protein for the street tacos.
No, that's fine. What's your street taco protein?
I think I'm gonna go chicken.
Ooh.
I know. Pork, honestly, I'm a big fish street taco guy.
We were looking for shrimp was the answer we were looking
Yeah,
for.
I'm a big shrimp and fish kind of street taco guy. But I think in general, like if I'm just going up to any street taco truck, I'm not getting shrimp at any street taco truck. You know what I mean?
Chris says ribeye has a higher stroke out rate. It's very disappointing when he misses. And I know it was a mistake. It was a spelling error because she meant to say strikeout rate. But
also,
she might have got it right as well too. Make sure you eat some vegetables, people. Is all I'm saying. Mix some stuff in with all of the protein every once in a while. But of course, we got more Diamondbacks baseball tomorrow. Or no, tomorrow. Nothing tomorrow. Not this show tomorrow. No baseball tomorrow, but on Wednesday we will be back. There will be baseball, and we will also have a special guest here. The one and only Steve Zinsmeister got on my block with the baseball podcasting, and I'm going to tell him to kick rocks. That's what I'm going to tell him to do. But my buddy Steve is joining us on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to talking to him about all of this fun stuff going on with the Diamondbacks. And hopefully we have an update for you by then on Corbin Carroll so that we don't continue to freak out about him. But I do very much appreciate you guys' questions for Mailbag Monday. Again, it wouldn't be the same without you, and we appreciate you guys so much stopping by. I know the Cardinals had Gannon on, so I know a lot of you might have been, it's okay. It's all right if you go watch him. I might have ditched this show to go watch the Cardinals show, but got some great stuff going on here at PHNX. We always appreciate you guys supporting us. We always appreciate you watching. So, again, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at cap_caveman with a K. Our guy Kevin, large intimate Kevin Thomas, is at Kevo Posts. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you again for your time. We will see you on Wednesday. Hope you guys all have a wonderful Tuesday, a wonderful evening tonight. And remember, kids, first of all, behave yourselves. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you remember that John Cena is a bad, bad man.
We all silly like the mayor.